Hello friends, I hope everybody's doing well. So in this video today we're going to change the windshield washer pump. It didn't exactly burn out. The motor still works, but it's not pumping properly. Originally, this is the windshield washer solvent bottle here. So originally this had the motor inside the bucket towards the bottom, and what happened with that was the motor actually rotted out and stopped working. So when I had my other truck on the road, right there, same thing happened to that. So what I did was I put this universal motor in here, and the thing is, I took this motor out of the other truck. So I think it's about 6 or 7 years old or so, but luckily it made it through the winter. And I just noticed the other day I wanted to clean the windshield off because it had pollen on it or whatever, and it wouldn't work. So what I did was I just disconnected the line here at the pump, and I made sure that it was clear. I blew through it and it was fine. And also what I had to do is I put this one-way valve on here in line. So this allows the fluid to go up, but it won't come back down, so it won't lose its prime. And what I did was when I wired it, I put a toggle switch in the truck. I could have used it off the original wiring harness when it was inside the bottle, but it only ran for like 2 seconds and then went off. Then you had to press the button. I like to control it, so I put a toggle switch inside. So what I did was I just ran it hot right to the battery, but I did install an inline fuse here, and I just ran the ground wire to the motor here, right to the terminal here. So what you're going to want to do before you do anything is you're either going to want to disconnect the negative side of the battery, or in this case I'm just going to pull a fuse out, and I'll show you what we got. I went to Napa and bought one. It was like $25 for the universal pump that doesn't go in the bucket. So yeah, let's get to it. Okay, so I want to explain about the toggle switch. Okay, these are 2 ground wires. One goes to one side of the toggle switch, and the other one goes to the other side. So when you flick the switch on, it completes the ground. I always use the ground wires to hook up a toggle switch and run it out, the firewall of the truck and out this way. And then I just hooked one up to the battery here, one ground here, and then the other ground wire that comes off the toggle switch here, I just ran it right to the motor. So like I said, when you turn the toggle switch on, it completes the ground and makes the pump work. So I just wanted to explain that to you real quick. Okay, so it's a Napa 6-300 universal washer pump. So the pump is here. It came with some hose and stuff like that. I don't know if it came with connectors or not, so I just bought these quick wire connectors here, and we'll be using those. Best way to really do it is to solder it and use shrink wrap, but I never have any problems with these connectors. Plus it's under the hood. Alright, so we'll open the package up and we'll install this thing. Okay, so it came with these blue connectors here. What you're supposed to do is slide the wire in one end and the other end, and then you're supposed to just fold the one part down and crimp it down. I don't like these at all, so I'm kind of glad there goes everything. Wind. What else is new here, right? Also, it has a T fitting here that I'll use on something else or whatever, so we're not going to use anything out of this. And it also has a bracket on there, and it has 2 like sheet metal screws so you can mount it. But what I do is I just take a zip tie and I just tie it in, like you just saw it was, and there's no problem with that. Okay, so this is pretty hard to film here because the truck is so high. I got the tripod all the way up. Then I tried to lower the tripod to get it into the engine compartment, and that didn't work out either. Okay, so as you can hear the motor running, but it's not pumping anymore. So I'm going to go ahead and do exactly like I told you. I'll explain it as we go. Okay, so I prepared the motor already, and what I did was I stripped the wire, I don't know, about 1/4 of an inch or maybe a little less with this part of the pliers. And then when you have the blue solderless connector, what you're going to want to do is take the blue part of this and you stick the connector in here, and then you just squeeze, and it just tightens up the connector around the wire there. And I prepared the motor already, and this is what you end up with here, like this. And now I'll just go ahead and cut the I'll cut the wire off the old one here. I think I just cut it here. I forgot to bring. You can also cut with these. I'm sorry about the wind again, but you guys should be all used to that. And then I'll just take the strippers here, just go around here somewhat, and then you just curl your wire, and the white wire goes to the positive, and of course the black one goes to the negative side here. So okay, so let me do the same thing here on the negative side. And then you just want to take the wire and twist it before you put it inside the connector. So I'll put the black to the black here. A little chilly today. Fingers are a little cold. So you just stick it inside there, like so. I hope you can see somewhat of what I'm doing. And then you're going to take the blue part, like I showed you, of the crimper. And then you're just going to crimp this down all the way. And then you have a good tight fit in there. Now we got the white wire here. So we're going to do the same thing with the positive wire. And then you're going to take the blue part again and crimp. I don't want to test the motor until we hook up the hoses, because you're not really supposed to run these dry. And I'll be right back. I have to go get the snippers to snip off the wire tie that I have holding the motor on. Okay, so now we're ready to put the hoses on. So I'm just going to pull this hose off here. I'll just do one side at a time first. Okay, so we know I took it off the top part of the motor here. Now, the one that goes on the top part of the motor is the one that goes up to the spritzers. Okay, so we're going to put this in to where it goes straight in here. And then you can see this part here that comes straight up. That's going to go to the top part of the motor. This is the exact same motor we're putting back in. And I also tested to make sure that the line was clear going into the bucket, and it was. So I wired it. I'll tie strap this back in after we're done here. So now we'll see if it works. I think I could do it with the hood open. I'll just leave the hood open, and I have to stick that fuse back in there. Something tells me I should have just disconnected the battery. I'll be right back with you. Okay, so I hooked up the motor. The motor didn't work. It started getting real hot. So what I did was I took the motor back out. I took it apart. I sprayed some DW40 in there where the impeller in there was. And first I made sure I took the impeller off, and then I made sure the motor still worked okay, and it did. So what I did was, like I said, I WD-40 the impeller, and I put it back together. It seems to be working, and I strapped it in. I wired it all up here. I'm just going to do something with these wires. I'll take another strap and just strap them somewhere there. So it's all hooked up. I put the fuse back in. Alright, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to set up the camera. We'll see if it works. This is the old motor here. So the impeller rides in here. It spins and pumps the water. It's the water pump. And what I did was I just sprayed some WD. Can you imagine that? Brand new motor, $25. And good luck taking electrical parts back if it was burned out. So I just took it apart and I did what I did there. Now we'll get to see if it works. To be fair, I did try it before to make sure it worked before I wired it all back up. So, let's try it and see. Well, it's not pumping as good as the old one did, but it's pumping. So I'm just going to have to live with this. Okay, that's going to be it for today. And thanks for watching. And I'll see you all on the next one. And stay safe.